All right, perfect. So again, my name is Dr. Gloria Pope. I am the Director of Educational Enrichment at Destination Tomorrow. A little bit about what the Educational Enrichment Program does at DT. We are responsible for creating opportunity for all of our participants and partnership agencies to create a space where their clientele can have access to job readiness, education in regards to their NEDP, which is a National External Diploma Program, which is 100% online based high school diploma program, GED classes, mission job readiness, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, as well as a life skills course, which is a basis of connections and communication with individuals in the workspace and personally. So that's basically I host all those different things. So now I had to go to Google campaign, which is something to share with you now. So Grow with Google. We are a partner agency resources and community organizations to teach digital skills that help people grow their careers and businesses. Partners receive at no cost program materials, training, and dedicated support team. So here at DT, we actually have access to hundreds of workshops that we're going to be able to share with you and your clients at no cost to your agency. You just have to come on as a partner here with us. That's a Destination Tomorrow, and we'll come set up the workshops. So who's this really for? So ultimately, it's really about giving people a head start to jump from where they are now to elevate to the next space, and a nice free and easy way to do so. A lot of individuals are scared, or not necessarily scared, but don't have the resources and the capabilities to say to go to colleges or universities, and because they have to work, right? So a lot of people to have kids, they don't have babysitters. So who's going to get an MBA, or who's going to be able to take courses to really understand how to run a business or any basic skills in regards to a computer, especially individuals who are formerly incarcerated. We're going to talk a lot about them today because this program was definitely established really to help the incarcerated folks who are coming back out into our communities to find space to gain free resources to help elevate them. So in June of 2022, Google decided to launch a $4 million fund. Okay, it's called the Google Fund for the Justice Impacted Communities to enable organizations to teach digital skills to people who have been impacted by the justice system. Now, more than 500 people applied. We are one of the 60 agencies that have been selected to actually do this programming. It's a national based situation, but we're one of the 6 agencies that are actually in New York who are providing these services out to the community. So people hear the word justice impacted. A lot of people think, okay, so it must have been people who have been in jail or in jail. But ultimately, everybody is justice impacted. People who live in the suburbs are justice impacted. The queer community, of course, were definitely justice impacted. And this regular families and folks are also justice impacted, including children are justice impacted. Especially people in the big cities and the communities that we service in the Bronx are clearly justice impacted. Because what does that word really mean? It really just means individuals who have faced the justice system at any point in their life. And for Black and brown people, all of us have faced the justice system at any point in their life. You ever been pulled over for a ticket? You've been justice impacted. You ever had to go to court for anything? You've been justice impacted. Honestly, if you ever was on a jury, you've been justice impacted to some extent. So we do focus a lot on, especially the homeless population and individuals who have been formerly incarcerated, but we want to make sure that people understand anybody and everybody is eligible for these free resources. So our target audience, of course, are people who have been subject to being incarcerated at some point in time in their life. In 2020, young adults ages 18 to 24 accounted for 19% of all arrests and 21% of violent crimes. So we know that, especially with Black and brown communities, there's been this big thing that we've been really researching the population from 18 to 24. A lot of our young people, they don't make it through high school. They're out in our streets doing what they have to do to survive. We have our community, our LGBTQI, especially trans community, who are out performing sex work in a lot of cases in order to survive. So there's a lot of different ways that we have people who are affected by the juvenile justice system between the ages of 18 and 24. Especially for our trans community, we know that a lot of our young folks, unfortunately, they're being put out of their homes at this point, because by the time they're 18, 24, they're finding themselves and they're choosing to be who they are. And a lot of the times their families aren't comfortable within that space. So now they're out in the street and they're into different shelters that we have, which may be available, or they're couch surfing from house to house. And so these individuals are not really getting the resources that they need to survive because they're really just focused on basic survival. Where's my next meal going to be? Where am I going to get clothes from? Or how am I going to prepare myself to figure out how I can get the hormones and different things that I need? So in past the trans community, we also know that our basic Black and brown community, our cisgender community as well, is also suffering, especially our Black boys, as they get into gangs or they're in environments that aren't necessarily the safest for them. And they get into a lot of trouble, unfortunately, because of lack of resources. So they're definitely a target audience for us at Destination Tomorrow. So we're actually reaching out to all the juvenile detention centers in the state, and we've made contact with them to provide these services. Our next target audience is because we have 2.2 million people are incarcerated in New York, in the United States. 2.2 million people are behind bars in this country, right? And it has increased by 4.3 times in the last 50 years. And we know it's getting worse. I just heard yesterday, I have someone who's incarcerated currently and they're waiting on their Fed trial. And they're finding out now that people who have been charges in federal prison currently who were at low impact charges, we're talking about tax evasion, stuff that, that necessarily doesn't really warrant for them to be in more stricter environments, are now being put in like medium level jails, where from a low to a medium is a big jump when we talk about incarceration, because there's no room, right? This country is constantly putting in systems, we're not going to talk about systematic racism. We already know it exists, but there's systems that are constantly put in place where individuals are being incarcerated over and over again. And then we also know that our justice system is not the most fair system in the world. So we have individuals who are placed in whom actually are not even violent, or who may not even be actual criminals, but they fell victim to our unjust system. So that's a target audience that we want to make sure that when they come out, or people who have come out and they can't find jobs. When you have felonies, there's certain things you can't do. You can't even vote. So let alone finding certain career choices are not necessarily your option. So here at Destination Tomorrow, with these resources, we're going to be able to give them some concrete skills. So when they're going to apply for these jobs, they can sit here and say, okay, well, I'm comfortable with using Google completely, Google Drive. I know how to use Word. I know how to share documents. I know how to navigate a computer. So an individual who's now in a halfway house who got locked up 10 years ago, Google wasn't what it was 10 years ago. So how are they now going to come out in this environment and they're going to get a job, even if they're doing manufacturing, and all of a sudden they got to figure out how to use Google Drive to get to a spreadsheet? How are they going to do that? These cell phones are not even the same anymore that they were 10 years ago. So these skills are necessary for our community and our environments to be able to succeed. So this is why we're here doing this type of work. Okay, so the why. Homelessness. Other than imprisoned directly in poverty, such as violations of homelessness. So right now, there's states in the United States that are criminalizing homelessness, that you can get arrested for sleeping on the street because you have nowhere to go. You go to that one shelter and you get there too late, so there's no bed for you. Where do you go? You're back on the corner on a cardboard box, right? Trying to stay warm through the night. And in certain states, they are telling you that that is illegal for you to sleep on the street. We all know, even in New York State, you get caught sleeping in your car, you can get a ticket, right? But you're in your own car. Say you were out and you're just tired of driving. If you get pulled over, if somebody comes over and catches you sleeping in your car, you can get a ticket for that, even though you're trying to be safe by taking a nap, right? Loitering, begging, all those different things. So a lot of 9% of the cities have been outlawed sharing food with homeless people. Like literally, you sit here and you go to the store and you see somebody's homeless outside, you grab an extra bagel and hand that to them. In certain states, that is illegal for you to share food, right? The things that we do in this country sometimes aren't fair for everybody. And it's definitely not fair for our homeless community as well, especially with the inflation. Who can even afford to pay rent anymore, right? Who can afford to even buy homes anymore? It's outrageous how we putting people in these situations where they can't go. And then individuals who are in shelters getting vouchers. Let's not even talk about our trans women who attempt to go and get housing and they can't even get housing because of their presentation of who they are. People say, okay, I'm not bringing that type of community into my housing, right? Even though we know discrimination is against the law, it happens every day. So what are we going to do to help these individuals get to the next space, right? What are we doing to help them navigate through these systems if they don't have these certain skills? Because they can come in with a voucher that's going to cover them for a year, but say they come in for a voucher and they already had an interview at a job because they was able to get it because they had these additional skills. And I can say, I have this voucher, but now I got a job where I'm working full time as an admin in an office, right? I'm working full time doing this. I got myself a management position doing this. Or as even more Google, now I'm an entrepreneur. I've started my own business. This is the access. Here's my website. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing makeup. I'm doing photography. I'm doing all these different things. And these are the skills that they can gain through this type of coursework that we're going to be offering over the next 2 years. So the way the courses are actually offered, they're going to be offered virtually, and we'll be doing a number of in-person sessions with individuals. And this is how you all can help. We are actually willing and able to set up virtual sessions through your programming, or actually come in and do in-person sessions. And we also have a little bit of funding to be able to offer food to your clientele, to jazz it up a little bit, to get participants really to come in. And then, honestly, I'm gonna be there doing a lot of time, and I'm really cool. People want to talk to me, right? Kind of cool, right? All right. So what does it cost you to be down with us? Nothing. Okay. We come with our team. We come with our experience. We come with our technology in most cases. If you're coming into our Barnes office, where I'll be hosting a lot of them at our Educational Enrichment Center, which is right by Pelham Parkway, on Barnes, we will be able to host these type of sessions for your clientele to come in to get these free resources. And this is how you can enroll today. You can hit me up, Dr. Gloria Pope. This is my direct number to our office. And you can email us at info@destinationtomorrow.org. And you can just let us know that you're interested in joining this and participating in this program. So right now, actually, the presentation piece is over, and I'm going to open it up for questions. Any questions, anybody? Thoughts, comments? You like it? No? Nobody?
I'll just say Gamal Willis from Avenues for Justice. It sounds amazing, and we look forward to learning more and reaching out to you.
Perfect. So how the next steps for anybody who's definitely interested is definitely please email today, right? Shoot me an email. I'm going to take your information from the chat, and I'll be able to set up a meeting with you individually to talk more how we can work together. I'm starting these meetings as early as this afternoon because I got to get this ball rolling. Also, I'll be emailing out to you the information about our sessions that we're going to be starting. Posting the first session is going to be next week. I'm gonna do a virtual session next week, Thursday, and probably Tuesday and Thursday. We'll probably gonna be offering different times of the day. So DT is gonna put out a calendar of our next 60 days of sessions of things I'm just gonna be offering out of workshops. There's gonna be a lot of rolling workshops coming out, and I'll be able to have a conversation with you to talk about your community to see what particular skills that you really want to work with. Now, this is anybody and everybody. Again, our goal ultimately through our grant is to service 3,000 people. I'm shooting high. I'm shooting for the stars. I'm going to educate 10,000 people. That's where we're at. I said that number yesterday, and I mean it. So we're going to hit about 10 grand on people that we're actually going to service through this. And the thing about it with these programming and stuff like that, we get access pretty much forever to it. We have a grant period where we're required to do a certain amount of numbers, but as a partner, I have access to this pretty much forever. So I can also continue past our grant period to also continue to share this educational experience with other people. So Kate, I saw that you raised your hand. Did I happen to answer it in my spew just now, or do you still have a question?
Yes, actually, you answered my question. I'm looking forward to just being able to meet up with you.
Perfect. Yeah, so sooner than later, we all can meet up and start having these conversations and really seeing how we can come up with maybe a series of workshops with your locations or with your community that you serve. We're out here just to service anybody and everybody. We're going to really be hitting the ground running as of next week, because we're actually a little behind at this point. So I want to get my first 500 people in by March the 1st. So I'm out here just really working diligently to get some things scheduled. So I appreciate you all coming on this call today. I look forward to working with you all. So you can send information to info@destinationtomorrow.org. My direct email is drpope@destinationtomorrow.org, and that's our website. Also check out our website for all the other programming that we have. Today, we're actually launching our job readiness program. If you have anyone who is interested in that, please reach out to the site today. I'm doing intakes and enrollment on that. It's a 4-week program. It's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays is in person at our office, and Thursdays is going to be 100% virtual. I'll be doing it directly out of our Barnes office again on by Pelham Parkway. And that's all I have. I appreciate you all coming on today. Thank you so much. And I look forward to working with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me copy all this information from the chat.